Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle and thanks for joining me for another episode of 80 Days. So we're currently in Paris waiting for our train to arrive at 6 p.m. tonight. So we're actually just going to fast forward the time till departure time. Alright, and we should be able to get on the train. Did I make it? Did I go too far? Okay, is there another train that we can take tonight? Alright, that kind of sucks. I kind of sped it up a little too much. We're going to have to stay here another night, so we're going to have to make up some time now. That's unfortunate. So that's probably going to make him pretty mad at me, so we have to stay here another night. Wish that wouldn't happen. With what remained of the day, I starched the collars of our shirts, or I went to stretch my legs, and succeeded only in having my pocket picked to the tune of 27 pounds. So not only did we lost a day, we lost a little bit more money. So, okay. Let's see when this train... Alright, let's go on this train. That's the way you do it. You just pick the train and it lets it go. So boarding the Orient Express was an altogether calmer affair than our race through London had been. Mechanical porters loaded us in through the windows, then snapped them shut with a delicate click. Let's see. Yeah, we want a fast train. Let's see if we can make that happen. The train was extremely fast and could sweep us across the whole of Europe, or at least as far as the Deutsches Kaiserreich, where the track currently ceased. At last, long whistle blew, and we began our journey east. Alright, let's have a conversation here. Greetings, monsieur. Can I help you at all, monsieur? I am the guard on this train. Let's ask him about Munich. I need to know about Munich. Did you know one can travel in a private car from Munich to Venice, but the journey is a tiring one? Private car, huh? Let's see... Let's talk about Munich to Nice. Seems unlikely to me, but now listen. Have you been to Bordeaux? No. My apologies, I have not. Ah, a shame. I wanted to ask if it was a nice spot for a honeymoon. I wish we could kind of see the map behind us. Let's see. Can we go to Vienna? Is there a route from Munich to Vienna? Perhaps. What about Prague? Goodness, but is that the time? So he got tired of us asking him questions. There is one to Venice that we found, which is cool because I probably want to go that way. It's another underwater train. My master wished to be undisturbed, so as we left Paris, I left him and went to explore the train. There was a delightful dining car and an observation deck formed by the replacement of an entire compartment with an open glass cube. I stopped there, watching the scenery flash past, and as I stood, a portly gentleman with a quivering, luxuriant mustache struggled by, carrying several trunks. So I could be a jerk here and be like, I'm no porter, so I let him to his work, but I'm a nice guy, so I offered him my aid, and he introduced himself after a shower of thanks. Henri de Bleuitz, foreign correspondent of the Times. Are you working, monsieur? I asked, and to my delight, he assured me he was. I am. He patted his breast pocket. The stories that you hear, it seems everywhere, is on the brink of one revolution or another. Everywhere there is progress, but who will count the cost? That sounds most ominous, I told him. Does it? He replied with a beaming smile. Well, I am a journalist. It's my duty to make omens. Good day to you. With that, he clapped me on the shoulder and headed off in the direction of the dining car. I followed him and found a few groups of people talking quietly. I sat with... Yeah, let's keep some Parisian ladies. Let's talk to the reporter, though. And we passed a few awkward hours as he drank his way through cup after cup of coffee and talked of nothing but his tailor. So let's leave this guy politely and return to Monsieur Fogg, who, to my surprise, looked up from his paper at me. What did you learn? He inquired. I told him of the observation car, but he showed no interest in its design or function. He was, however, interested in de Bleuitz. Could he tell you much of the journey ahead? He asked. Every detail may be important to us. I nodded, though. I told him I would find out what I could in the future. Either way, there was no more to be done that night. We arrived in Munich with a few hours later, my character is now a suave. Alright. So that'll come in handy. I don't know if we can like ever see like our character stats anywhere. Overview. So we're already going 4 days. Alright. So here we are in Munich. Where do we want to go next? Let's make some... So we can take a car. So we can bring more luggage on a car, I believe. That's how that works. Yep. But it's... takes too long. And it's a hard journey by car. It looks like our only choices are car, actually. How can this... Is this like an underwater car? What's going on there? How can that be a car? I don't know. I'm looking at it backwards. The gray is the land. Perfect. All right. So right now we can only go to Vienna or Venice, both by car. Let's explore a little bit of Munich here and see what we can do. So nothing's actually open right now, so we'll have to stay here tonight. And tomorrow we'll pass the time. As I have previously noted, the Franco-Prussian War had concluded but a year previously, thus my French accent was a disadvantage, or I flaunted my French accent. Okay. You know, I'm gonna be a proud Frenchman. My last name is French. I'm just from Louisiana and happen to have a French name. I'm not a Frenchman myself, but I'm gonna pretend like I am and flaunt my French accent. Here in the Victor City, I had no interest in coddling others' sensibilities. That is, until the concierge in our hotel quite deliberately dropped a mug of coffee into my lap. Quite a sensitive moment for poor Passepartout. Let's see. I can spill some wine on that guy. I can take him to task for it, which is not my style. Let's endure the insult with dignity. Later, Monsieur Fogg congratulated me on my forbearance, declaring simply, quietly, good show. My character is now presentable. Very cool. Alright, so now let's explore, see if we can find some more routes out of Munich. We do, just by swearing. So we can go up to Berlin, which I don't really want to do. There was a little daylight in Munich. The sky was shrouded in steam and oil flumes from the tractors and hydraulic excavators in the streets. Workers shouted to each other, a place of industry then, or I quickly returned to the safety of a cafe. Let's pick this industry one. A place of industry then, whose citizens wore dark cloaks to protect their finery from the soot. I brushed a few specks of dirt from my collar absent-mindedly, far more intrigued by the gleaming machines remaking the city skyline. Rumor had it that this work was the doing of the Bavarian king, who had become obsessed with steam power. But the spectacle was more interesting to me than the patronage. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not too interested in politics, so I'm more interested in sort of the technology that's happening. So let's go this way. But the spectacle was more interesting to me than the patronage. What does it matter who makes the machines when the machines themselves are so wondrous? Must we look for the creator's hand behind every gleaming marvel? I'm going to share this thought with Monsieur Fogg. He's probably not going to like it. Who raised an eyebrow. All machines eventually go wrong, and that it is imperative that we know how to fix them. I felt altogether chastened. I am not sure I am entirely suited to the business of being a valet. It is valet. I know in America we call that a valet. It's one who brings your car around, but in the time that this was taking place, the sort of gentleman's... Sorry about that timer there. Sort of gentleman's agreement, or man, I sort of lost my thought there with the timer. Anyway, the sort of right-hand man of the gentleman was called a valet, and that is what Passepartout is. So it's not valet. All right. Let's see. So we went around town. We've done nothing. Is there anything cool here that we can buy? We are going to be traveling by. Put these apples in. They're of interest to official, earnest, and soldier types. They're only £1. Yeah, you know what? And we can fit them in our suitcase, so let's do that. And then let's see where we can go. So we're going to be traveling by car. Our only two options are Nice and Berlin. We'd have to take a ship that arrives today somewhere. I kind of do want to go down this way for this adventure. So we're gonna go to Venice in a Bozak car. He's not gonna like it. They're both -9. What is this? A public carriage. You could adjust the departure. 4 suitcases. Tomorrow before P4. Let's see here. We can do that one. We can do either one of these today, I think. So let's go to Venice. 4 p.m. Bozak car to Venice. The luggage rack has space for 2 suitcases, which is ample. We only have 1 still, so that's fine. It is on the open road, so it is a bothersome journey, so we may have some difficulties. We hired a private driver with an oil-guzzling Bozak car who took off in high speed once we were aboard. I think that should be at. Who took off at high speed once we were aboard. I did not believe it would make the long journey. It appeared to be reinforced with metal strips and brackets, and I slept the whole way. Let's go for this middle option here. Appeared to be reinforced with metal strips and brackets that looked a lot like parts from broken farm equipment. The driver himself had haymaker hands that suggested he had not long ago been a laborer of the land, or on the land. Haymaker hands, I assume big knuckled hands, right? Knuckled from doing the hard work. When someone throws a haymaker, that's like sort of throwing a big heavy punch. I asked him about himself as he drove, but he replied in monosyllables, so our conversation degenerated into a guessing game. Had he designed the car himself? No, it was a Bozak, designed by Bozak, of course. Was he, or had he been a soldier? Was he married? Did he like Venice? Let's ask him if he had been a soldier. No, and that war with France has seemed most unnecessary to him. Do you drive often? Of course he did. He had a family to feed. Didn't everyone? I exhausted him. We fell silent before the sputtering and spurting of the engine as it exploded rhythmically beneath us. Let's talk to Monsieur Fogg. I'm at your service, Monsieur Fogg. Passepartout. Let's talk about the journey. How is our progress, Monsieur? Day 5, I believe. Early days. The journey will be most expensive, Monsieur. Indeed. But we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel. Very good. Alright, we are almost about to arrive in Venice. By midday, we had crested the mountains, and our journey down was almost steam-free. We rolled with the driver pumping the brake handle, or we relished the fresh air. Let's see. I'm going to stick with mechanical. So we rolled with the driver pumping the brake handle of the horses twice a minute, every minute, for the entire 6 hours it took us to reach level ground once more. And then there was the Adriatic Sea, sparkling as though encrusted with jewels. Thoughts of grimy London flew from my head. This was the life. In short, the car did not explode, and we were rowed across the Gulf to the city of canals. The lamps were just being lit, and we lost ourselves in the narrow, winding alleys, enjoying the smells of grilling fish and red wine and the sparkle of glass from shop windows. This was a pretty place we had arrived in, indeed. Your relationship with Fogg has strengthened. Very cool. So maybe by not complaining. So he did take some health hits there. We will have to sleep here and explore in the morning. So let's go ahead and get our hotel room. And he went back up a little. I was walking along a canal side in Venice when I found myself in the midst of a group of revelers. They wore a fabulous array of masks, some beak-nosed, others brightly feathered, and even some spun of fine, glittering wire. Yeah, I want to know what's going on here, so I bowed in greeting and gave them such a surprise that one tripped, turned, and then tumbled into the canal. Our friend seemed drunkenly unconcerned and fell about in pealing laughter as the woman cursed and thrashed in the dark water. Alright, so am I going to dive in and get her out myself, just shake my head, or ask them to help her? I'm going to dive in. I knocked her in, right? It's my fault. I dove to the rescue, reaching her in a few strokes. Zut alors, as the water was cold, she kicked and fought as I hauled her to a nearby flight of steps. Fiametta is the daughter of the canal, one of her friends put in. You should have left her in it. Another drunken youth agreed. It is the only time she bathes. Fiametta coughed and choked as I hauled her from the water. I averted my eyes tactfully. I am a gentleman after all, for her sodden clothing was immodestly plastered to her skin. Who are you? She demanded, seeming to see me for the first time. Her friends made various kissing noises and suggested a variety of improbable roles for me. A clown, one said. No, another interjected. An agent of the Pope. Yet another added sotto voce, Fiametta's foreign lover, which caused them all to laugh as Fiametta cursed them with admirable thoroughness. Are you all right? I asked with some concern. Of course, she replied, haughtily wringing out her hair. I am Venetian. I cannot drown. It is simply not possible. Do not mind Fiametta, her friend remarked softly. She is angry because of her work and because of what happened to her brother. What happened to her brother? Sophos happened to him, Fiametta interjected, scowling, and now that blasted Greek has joined with the Skula. What is the Skula? She looked shocked at my ignorance. It is what the artificers of Venice call themselves. They control everything in Italy these days. She spat into the canal. If you chance to take the airship from Rome to Athens, you might meet Senor Sophos. Put a knife in his heart before he takes yours. I am not in the habit of knifing strangers, I told her sternly. Fiametta laughed darkly, and one of her friends took her arm. Leave such thoughts for another night, he advised, pulling her away. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, still somewhat damp. So very interesting. So this lady wants us to kill the leader of the Artificers Guild of Venice for some reason, because of what happened to her brother, apparently. She did tell us about that route down to Athens. So let's explore the city a bit more here. We find a ton of routes now. Very cool. I was waiting my turn at the gondola rank near the Rialto Bridge when a gondolier from across the canal waved frantically to catch my attention. Monsieur, I will take you. I recognized that voice. Mon Dieu, it was the very woman I had pulled from the canal the night before. I waved her over, having tired of waiting in line. She made a sharp turn through the water, earning the ire of several other boatmen who had to swerve to avoid her. Fiametta, the booking agent who ran the rank, shook his fist in her direction. Leave my customers alone. You deserve no customers, Zorzi, Fiametta shouted back, ignoring me entirely. Was it possible she did not remember me? Those creatures of yours are not gondoliers. They know nothing of the soul of Venice. I did not understand her meaning until I peered at one of the gondolas in the rank. Oh, there were more choices there. Should have looked at that. Until I peered at one of the gondolas in the rank. Parbleu, the oarsmen at the stern were machines. Alright, so here we go. Do we like these machines, or are we afraid of them? You know, I'm very interested in robotics. So I'm going to say they are extraordinarily beautiful. Their bodies made of inlaid copper and azure Venetian glass. Their faces covered by the fine feathered Carnivale mask. Signor, my automaton gondoliers are the pride of Venice, Zorzi insisted, breathlessly as he reached me. They are guaranteed safe by the Skula, our local artificers guild. Fiametta here is a troublemaker. From the water, Fiametta called, I am a true gondolier. I nodded and stepped into... I'm going to go with Fiametta here. I'm not necessarily afraid of the automatons, but I kind of want to learn more about what's going on here. I like trouble, I told Zorzi with a shrug. Fiametta gave him a perfectly executed mocking curtsy as we pulled away, no mean feat, while also holding an oar and balancing on the prow of the low craft. Zorzi supported the Risorgimento, the Italian unification, Fiametta told me, as she pushed us forward. Now he is a bootlicker of the Skula and dabbles in their infernal mechanicals. But the guild are merely inventors. Yeah. I'm going to ask her why she hates them. Why do you hate automata? I asked. I do not hate them. I fear them. They are soulless. The Pope has declared them abominations, and yet they roam the streets and canals of Venice. Do continue. She took a deep breath. It is an open secret that the Skula run Italy, in all but name. The king is their puppets. We are a kingdom run by artificers. You know, I'm going to say better artificers than the Pope, I answered coolly. Fiametta laughed disbelievingly, and we lapsed into silence. We rode past palazzos and Gothic churches, each more grand than the last, Fiametta giving me a spotted history of Venice in her own idiosyncratic style. It seemed the foundations were being fitted with water pumps to push water downwards and thereby lift the city up. The Skuli will make Venice into a ship, Fiametta told me. No doubt they will sail it around the world to make war. I did not like that thought of a city of artificers who had broken from the guild's credo, roaming free about the world. My character is now suave. I was already suave, so I guess I am now more suave. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's check out our routes. So we can go down. I kind of want to get this way. Budapest is actually kind of interesting. We can go to Rome. So we might be able to meet this guy, Senor Sophos. I'm not going to kill him. It's a Trevithick steam carriage. If we take the chance from Rome to Athens, so if we can get to Rome, right, and we can travel by airship. We will get to meet the Senor Sophos. Just kind of maybe explore that storyline some more. Our only two choices south, really. I mean, we could take a one-day journey to Dubrovnik by car. So all these are pretty bad. That one's really painful. -16. Do not want to do that. This is a -9. No, I wish this would not make you not be able to click on the map. We could pick up an extra suitcase and go this way down to Rome, and maybe on the airship we can even bring more. Can we see the airship route yet? It's a ferry. Rome to Athens. We chance to take the airship. Okay, so we have to figure out how to get on the airship, because right now it doesn't look like it's available. But that's what I'm probably gonna go to Rome. But what I am gonna do is stop here and end the video here, and we'll make that choice next time as we continue our journey around the world in 80 days. So thanks for watching, everyone. This is only the second episode. Let me try that again. This is only the second episode of the series, so your likes are very helpful. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would really appreciate it. It helps me out a great deal when you guys do that. So please do, if you feel so inclined. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all next time.